Hello and welcome back to the Life Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Jones. With me again is Mr. Will Smith, my homeboy, my buddy from Waynesboro, Georgia, here to discuss and share some of his views on men's health in general and a few other things. Welcome back to the podcast, Will. How's it going, buddy?
Good morning, Chris. Hey, thank you again, man, for reaching out to me, man. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to share this podcast with you on this day, especially when you're talking about men's views and men's health. I'm elated about it, and I'm ready to dig in, man.
Ready to dig in. That's
Yes,
what I'm
indeed.
talking about. Hey, Will, I mentioned this to you a while back. This idea I had about just talking about various matters, but from a man's perspective. I mentioned to a few, of my female family members, female friends, and such, and they were like, "Oh, that can get a little juicy." Like, but hold up, what exactly are you guys going to be talking about? Well, you're just going to have to listen in and dial in or whatever and find out what we're going to talk about. And oh, by the way, there's going to be an opportunity for some of those same young ladies to join us as well and have a little crosstalk about, again, a lot of the common things, everyday things that we deal with in life. But we need to have those conversations, right? And it shouldn't just be from one particular point of view. But what I've seen, what I've found, folks have approached me over the years, they want to hear more from men, right? Real things that the proverbial man's man deal with or go through. And along those lines, Will, I actually want to start there. What does manhood in itself looks like to you?
Well, Chris, thanks for asking that question. I will say this: when I think about that word manhood, it goes beyond that enclosure there. If you think about hood, it seems like you're just in a box. But manhood, it goes from the emotional part, your health, your mental health. It goes to the point of you looking at your spiritual. It looks at your physical and beyond. But manhood is something that is a totality of everything that you get to do as a father, grandfather, husband, boyfriend, just a friend, just being a leader. Manhood it stretches because you're not able to just keep it in a box because it's always transforming to something different. And so you have to be a man that is willing to transform and also sacrifice on a broader scale, excuse me. And so when I think about that word manhood, it's one of those things where it's not just a bravado. That bravado, you got to be the tough guy. What you have to do, you have to be loving. You got to be open. You got to be nurturing. And you got to be willing to listen and do all the things that come at you because that's life. That's life.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Towards the latter part of what you shared, Will, about that listening and oh man, men, and I don't want to generalize. Our active listening skills, for the most part, we can do better. In general, how you painted the picture of manhood itself, I spot on. I'm totally with you, and I'm gonna tell you, Will, when the folks were reaching out to me, asking me about certain, well, I shouldn't say asking, they were recommending certain topics for us to talk about, right? I saw a trend, a serious trend in folks wanting to hear from men. And I'm like, well, there's this podcast out there.
Yes.
But they're skewed and talking about a lot of, I don't know, some are they're entertaining, right? They're not talking about offering meat of information that's going to really feed people, right? There are some out there. Of course, there are some out there.
Yes.
But these guys' points were they wanted to see more.
And that is so true. When you're talking about the entertainment versus the reality, and like you said, we're not trying to judge any other podcast. One thing I would say is that when you are being authentic about the subject matter, it's important because there's somebody out there that is listening, and they're really seeking some assistance, some help, so they can better their lives through from a different perspective from somebody else that maybe also have walked in their shoes or walking in their shoes. And so I appreciate this podcast because you're really genuine, you're real, and it's authentic, and you bring people on that's, giving their perspective. They're not biased, and so they're just sharing their life perspectives. How some of their experiences, they're and knowing what they've gone through, or watching someone else go through these things has afforded them the opportunity just to grow.
Yes, yeah, and Will, that's it. I mean, you broke down a lot of that the first time you were on the podcast about that growth, and just being open, being amenable to it, right? No one knows it all, right? There's so many people, as you just mentioned, not so many people, everybody experience certain things and different things, and we respond to things differently, given be it our upbringing, our the way we were trained to do certain things, be it in a formal setting or just those life lessons, as you just alluded to as well. Having people on, as you just mentioned, like yourself, sharing their perspectives of how they may have dealt with something, how they may have handled something. And folks always come back, man, you know what? Had I listened or had I known that bit of information right there, and you said it earlier, had I had that information, I totally would have did this differently. I
Correct.
totally would have responded, or I wouldn't have gone through this whatever this dark place in a person's life was. Had they had that type of information.
So I think the key word there is listening. For men, it's very difficult. Sometimes people think men know it all, and sometimes men think they know it all. But I'm gonna be honest, we don't. And it takes us a while to really get that and grasp that and own it. And so when you start to listen, you can process the pros and cons of the conversation, the situation, the circumstances. And so you can, find better results when you listen. But when you hear stuff, you have that one-sided mind, and you have your mind made up. You know what, I'm gonna do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and this is it. But being willing as a man to listen, and then really be honest with you, when you weigh the pros and cons, you make sure that you get the best results, not only to impact your life, but the lives of others, or even that circumstance or issue or problem or, a situation. And I think that listening skill is very, very important. It's imperative that men have those listening skills. If not, it's, you always have to deal with some drama. You always have to deal with some negativity if you don't have good listening skills. You have to find a way, be at peace with life, how you deal with those circumstances. So you have to have those listening skills. Yes.
Absolutely. I wanted to kind of have some conversation around health, men's health, and also the mental side of it as well. But I'll just pose just a very open-ended question, like, men's health, when you hear it, like some of the things that you do and how you prepare, how you navigate the whole process of it all.
My viewpoint when it comes to men or mental health, I think about is having the ability or the capacity to exercise your thoughts in a positive way, and while stretching, your mindset.
Yeah.
And so when you start thinking like that, my mental health, it starts here. It's mental. It's in the mind. You've got to have a strong mind in order for you to be able to, conquer the physical stuff, or the spiritual realm. Because if your mind is not functioning in the right direction, it's not moving the needle in the right direction, then you're going to be at a standstill. And so your health it's more than the nutrition. You got to be able to feed yourself mentally, intellectually. You have to feed yourself, all those type of nutrients. You have to give the ingredients, how to become a better man. And so as a better man, I'm talking about a father, I'm talking about a son, I'm talking about a husband, even if you're a granddaddy, I'm talking about, the whole gist of everything that you can put in a pot to cook up. You want to make sure you have all the right ingredients, and it starts here.
Right.
And mental capacity, you have to have it. You have to have a strong mind, and even the strongest mind break. But you got to have enough fight in you as a man to know, what, something knocked me down, but it didn't knock me out. So I can look up, so I can get up and stand up and keep on doing the work as a man.
I like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As a man, and it's I have a group of other buddies and some friends, co-workers, just a nice mix of men in
Yes.
general. And the commonality is this: who do we go to when
Mm,
things are getting rough or hard, challenging, however you want to frame it? And I've been so appreciative lately. Certain guys reach out to me for certain things or whatever. There's certain men who I reach out to, right? We all have our point people, right?
yes. Yes.
Depending on what's going on. But my point in sharing that is I've also found out not a lot of guys have those point people to go to, right? To
True.
get that meaningful information, right?
True. It's scary. We feel like we have to be so strong that we don't share. And
Mm,
then when you don't share, you may be going through a circumstance, a situation, and it stacks up and it becomes more than you can handle, and you blow your rooftop, so to speak. As men, we've got to find that out, that person, those people, those brothers, those other men that that can lift you up, they can hold you accountable, but then point you in the right direction. I found that in a couple of my brothers. With not DNA doesn't always make us brothers. Because the thing about it is you got to have that connect, like you said, that link to someone that is like minded, and also who's going to be the right example to hold you accountable, but bash you, break you, but try to make you into a better person. And so it's okay to share. It is very okay to share. I've learned to do that. If you share, you'll find peace as a man, and you got to find the right people that you meet with, link up with, and they are trying to be the example for you. And I have several mentors that I reach out to. They're older than
hmm
me. Other than I can call
right.
my dad, but then I can call my mentor, Mr. Woodrow. I can call my mentor, Coach Williams, or then I call my brothers, Coach Pittman and Coach Conyers, or I call some of my Marine Corps partners, but they know, um, the realness of who I am
Right.
and what I'm trying to do as a man, and they don't judge me. They just they just try to be objective in what I'm going through, and they try to give me feed me the right information. So they don't give me a piece of meat and no seasoning on it. They're gonna season it for me.
There
And
you go. There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
eat off that
That,
table they
that,
prepared before me. They're gonna make sure it's right.
right. Right. And the sheer fact that the way you stated, these guys are older,
Yes.
right? And that's that's kind of the idea, right? Reaching out. The theory behind it all is these folks have, you would think, they've lived more life, they have more years, more experience, etc. They have been, you know, in this world experiencing a plethora of things, the good, bad, and ugly,
Correct.
and they've learned from it, right? Hence the importance of, these guys. We're a lot of guys that we mentor. Tell them, look for guys who you would think have
Yes.
kind of been there, done that. They have more experiences. I learn from younger guys too. Yeah,
Yes.
I learn from all types of people. But the key word, one of the words that you use, mentor. To have a mentor who, I'm going to use one of your words in different contexts, right? They're seasoned.
Yeah.
They're more seasoned because they have so many more vast experiences.
Yes.
Again, theoretically, because they're older, right? But having those type of men, in this case, in your corner that you can go to, you mentioned you reeled off 5, 7 men off the bat. And again, I go back to the fact that there's so many guys out here, not just the younger guys like that. They
True.
just don't have people or genuine men to go to. So even having this exchange,
Hmm.
having Will Smith on, right, listening to Mr. Positivity, and some of the other guys who have been
True.
on,
True.
having you capturing this type of information, and hopefully some of these guys, they'll run across it, right, as they're thumbing through YouTube or any other social media platform, and they see and hear, the information like this that in this case Will is sharing. And those are some of the things that kind of push and and motivate me to do more of this, because I know, and you know firsthand,
Yeah.
there's so many brothers out here that need this type of information.
I'll say this much, Chris. Even yesterday evening, I was sitting on the back, just relaxing, and one of my former students who just recently graduated, he texted me, said, "I've been thinking a lot." You know, young kids, they don't go in details. He just
Right,
texted me, "Hey, coach, I've just been thinking a lot," and I'm like, "Okay, can you give me more?" And so I know this young man, so I text him back. I said, "Just give me a call." And he called me, and I said, "What are you thinking about?" And he expressed to me, I've grown up in this community without a dad, but I know my dad. Nevertheless, my dad has never been in my life. And I told him, I said, you know what? You're at an age now, you've seen a lot, even at, your age. You've seen a lot. You've seen him not be there, but he's still your dad. Don't ever forget that. You wouldn't be here without him. Furthermore, if you want to be a better person and be better than him, not judging him, then you have to make those decisions based on what you've seen and not seen, so you can be a better person for yourself. And so for him to call me and reach out to me and say, "You know what, coach, I appreciate you. Thank you for being in my corner." That meant a lot to me, because we never know as men the impact we have on those that do not have a father, in their lives. And so this man thing, this men, when you're talking about the views, we have to share with the young, okay, because you know what I'm saying, and the older, and some older men out there, even like myself, we do need that young mentality, so those minds to, I'll shed some light on us too.
Absolutely.
We can learn, old dogs, what I'm saying. I'm not too old dog that to learn, some new tricks, so to speak. And
Right.
so I truly believe when we look at a viewpoint from a man's perspective, we have to look at their totality of their life. You know what I'm saying? You know, how they live, how they walk, how they talk, what I'm saying, how they move, and so their character will draw you. The ones with that good character draws you. And they're just not talking it, but they're actually living it. And you know what? It's great to be a man that's very much, aware of that he's imperfect. And that's what we as men have to really look at. We're not perfect, man. We're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. That's how we grow. And so we have to share those imperfections with our kids, and tell them, listen, I'm glad I'm not what I used to be. I'm glad I'm not who I used to be. I'm glad I don't go where I used to go. So I'm in a different place. That you see my growth. Trust me, I'm not what I used to be. And you know what? That's because you're my child, you're my grandchild, you're my wife, you're my daughter, whatever it may be. You've helped grow me into the person I am today. And so when you have that village of family, you have that village of mentors, as a man, you own that. And then you see that your growth, you look back, look in the mirror. You look in that mirror. Don't look through the mirror. Look in that mirror and see the person that you've become or you're becoming, and you own that person. And so then you can look back. You can look back as a man. I remember I used to be like this. Thank God I'm not in it. I'm that person anymore.
Absolutely.
And so that's growth. And you have to look, once again, we're talking about men views about life. Well, are you really looking at you? Are you really viewing you? Are you viewing your life? And because that's what you have to do. You have to take notice, and you have to check off the boxes as a man, just like a goal you set. You have to check off a box that, when I did this as a man, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I can check that off. But you got to be consistent in doing those things so you can become a better man.
That's right. I love that. That's right. So you can become a even better man. That's it. That is it. Will, you touched on the young child, the dynamics of the father not. He was saying that his father wasn't really around like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course, which made me think about a conversation you and I had recently, and it was around, and however you want to expound on it, be my guest, right? Pun intended. Our conversation was around trauma, right? That kind of, be it misinformation or whatever, right? You can kind of clean up where I'm going with this, but I would like you to kind of interject some talking points around that.
I got you. And one of those things I've learned, just teaching and encountering young minds, I see a lot of times our young people, male and female, they are going through a lot of things at a young age because an adult they made decisions. I always say this to the kids: grown folks make grown folk decisions, and you never know why. And you see it differently. Sometimes that parent is missing in that child's life because another parent made a decision that they didn't need to be together, or that parent may say, you know what, I had to move on because I didn't want to be complacent because he or she weren't moving in the right direction. And sometimes that child is the one that suffers the most because, you know what, I had to do what I had to do as a man. I had to do what I had to do as a mother. And nevertheless, I didn't, my child may not understand it because they're so young, but they say, you know what, why am I missing my dad? Why am I missing my mom? And sometimes as parents, we can feed them the right information if you tell them, straight up, listen, he wasn't no good. He wasn't no good for me, and I was trying to make moves so we can have a better life. Or she wasn't the one, that, I thought she was. And so I had to move on. But in the midst of that, sometimes, women, and I'm not bashing, I'm not judging.
Right.
Women, they're hurt by that man. If they thought that man was going to be who he said he was, but he did not stand on business, women will bash that man, unbeknownst of the pain and the trauma they may cause that child if they see it or hear it.
Right.
And so I say this as a man, I would always encourage a woman or a man to make sure you don't spread misinformation about the other parent to your child because you're upset with him or her. That plays a major part in their upbringing and how their relationships may turn out. And just be honest with them.
Right.
And sometimes grown folks do make grown folks decisions, and kids will never understand that. It's okay to let them know, you know what? He was not that guy that I thought he was, but he's still your dad. She wasn't that woman that I thought she was, but she's still your mom. So they can have that genuine relationship. And so as a man, you have to be real with it. You're going to take a lot of stuff on this journey when you have kids. You're going to take a lot of stuff. You're going to hear a lot of things. All you can do is own it. When you own it and you hold yourself accountable and you try to work towards being a better person for your child, your children, your grandkids, whatever it may be, then that's it. But you don't, as a parent, you have to be better about, spreading misinformation because that kid those children are the ones that suffer.
I wholeheartedly agree. They are the ones that suffer. and for the most part, we've all been on certain ends of that.
Yeah.
Right. Hence why we can passionately, effectively talk about it, because we know the ramifications. We've experienced it firsthand. And it's something that it totally stays with you.
My dad wasn't always in my life, right? And right. I remember getting ready to graduate from college. I sent an invitation and he never responded. And I told my girlfriend then, she's my wife going on 30 years. I told her, I said, forget him. He hadn't responded. I said, forget him. And she said, well, let me tell you something. No matter what, if he responds or not, he's still your dad. And to this day, me and my dad are like, we're so tight. When I get off this podcast, I'm hitting him up anyhow. I got to check on him. He goes, hey, baby. That's what he said every time. I say, hey, baby. I said, what's up, Dad? How you doing? But if I had taken that moment just to listen to what she had to say, really let it resonate. No matter what he did or didn't do, he's still my dad.
Right.
And sometimes even as you get older as kids, you're going to have to make up your mind if you want to have a relationship with that man or that woman, because that's still your mom. That's still your dad. Absolutely. And always, like I said before, grown folks make grown folks decisions. You'll never realize why they made that decision until you have your own family.
Until you have your own family, you start having all types of aha moments.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So yeah.
Don't forget, what I'm saying? Like Deion Sanders always say, he keeps receipts, right? And as kids, you got to keep the right kind of receipts because it's going to come back on you when you have your own. And you're going to realize I messed around. I was being judgmental of him or her. But now I'm in this position and now I understand because I have my own.
That's right. That's it. Now that's yeah, that's good right there. You got hey, and it comes to bite you at the most inopportune time.
Hmm.
And like you said earlier, I mean, of course, no one is going to get it right all the time. You know,
No,
we're not perfect,
no.
but we strive towards it. All right, in some capacity. Um, which again, it takes me back to my initial thought about just men, how should I put it, stepping into the gap, right? For those young boys, even young girls who don't. I keep saying young boys, but even young girls who don't have fathers around, who
Yes.
need a some type of father figure in their lives. And yeah, I can't stress enough just the importance of men like you, men like us, to be available, right?
Yeah.
Another word you used earlier, to stretch ourselves, right?
Yes.
To stretch ourselves to we can't be everything to everybody. I'm not trying to
True.
paint that picture. I'm not naive, but at the same time, there are enough of us who have a little more to give. We have to kind of still within our power, whatever power God gives us along our journey of purpose, to pull up and pull along, bring along as many people as we can.
Chris, I'll say this much. Um, Throughout this conversation, I've always, and you say, Will, Mr. Positivity Smith, I've learned that my peace comes from being positive.
Yeah,
And so, as a man, you've got, in order for you to rid all of this negativity, this drama, all these issues that may surround you, you've got to have this positive mindset. No matter what, I'm still alive. I still have a chance to fix whatever. So, I have another opportunity. So, you got to think positively. And then you share your experiences and you have to be real about it. And when you do that, do it in a way that you don't knock, you don't demean, or you don't hurt anyone, you don't harm them, but you help them. And see, that's what we have to do as men. We have to really look at this thing on the positive side. I've I've learned, man, the more positivity that I feed myself, then I can pour it out to somebody else. And I don't in my words or in my social media stuff that I get a chance to do. I'll say it again. I get to do. I try to make sure it empowers and impacts and makes a difference in somebody's life in a positive manner. And so it all starts with me as a man. My character matters to me. I don't want to put a stain on my name, you know what I'm saying, as a man. I
hmm
want I want to stand as a man the right way. And so the right way ain't the perfect way. And I know that.
right, right.
But the right way is trying to consistently do it the right way every day that you
I
get,
like that. I like that. Yes, sir.
you know.
And it kind of it brings everything home, Will. For me,
Hmm.
doing all of those things when I know this is part of my purpose, when I'm doing it, it feeds my mental.
Yes.
It exudes your word again, positivity,
Yeah.
which brings, for the most part, or should bring someone happiness,
And greater
joy,
health.
gratitude. It all leading to greater health.
Yes.
It all works and goes together,
That's it.
right? And when it's something that you enjoy doing and it's good for you,
Yeah.
and oh, by the way, you may get compensated for it, or whatever that task
Yeah.
is. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. We all have a gift. You know, my gift is to give, all right, and but it's to give in a positive manner, and it's got to be real.
hmm
My gift to men out there today that is watching this here platform, man, it's okay to do it the right way. It is. Even when you make mistakes, own them, hold yourself accountable. But it's okay to walk the right way. It's okay to be around the right type people. And it's okay to even go in those negative environments and be the right person. And then you don't may not have to say anything, just be that right person in the right place, even if it's in a bad environment. When you walk off, they can feel, you know what, something different about you. And hopefully it may touch that one man or that one brother, that one grandpa, that one person in that group that's in that negative environment say, you know what? man, there's something different about that guy. And I need, you know what? I need to get out of this here bunch, and I need to move in that direction with somebody like him. That's what we have to do. We have to move, be willing to move in negative environments, knowing that somebody's going to look at you and say, man, he used to do this, he used to be that. And those are the key words, used to. But look at him now. Who wouldn't want to be around a man that's trying to do it the right way? Who wouldn't? Be a man. Make that decision. You know what I'm saying? It makes your life healthier. I'm from the mental, right? You know, when your kids are cutting up, you know what, you can like, you know what, no matter what, they cutting up, but I know they've been raised right, right? You know, your wife, you know what I'm saying, she's on your, you know, getting on your nerves. At least you got one, you got some nerves that you're getting on. You're right, but you got somebody that's not, you're not lonely. And you're not alone in this world as a man. You just got to be willing to open that, you know, those floodgates, you know, and let somebody continuously pour into you the right stuff. And then you empty that negativity. That's nothing good for you. Yeah, I'm just all about, man, just trying to be, you know, that example, Chris. And I appreciate you, man, because even though you're younger than I, we've been knowing each other quite some time. All right. I love that picture that you have on your wall. You know what I'm saying? That man pointing that gun, but he ain't shooting bullets, man. He's shooting love. You know, those number hearts. If I got my glasses on, but I think that man, that's love, man. And that's what we got to do as men. Me and you right now, this here podcast, Men Views About Life. We pouring out love, man. We find out some serious bullets, man. It's locked and loaded. And if we stay locked and loaded with love, man, and telling another brother the truth, that, man, you know, you matter, man. You know, your life matters to me. Your life matters not only to me, but to other brother. Your life matters to this world, is to this community, to your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is. Your life matters as a man. And so be the best version of yourself and then become better every single day. Be consistent in what you get a chance to do and who you get a chance to be and become. Be consistent.
I like that. And Will, I like your framing of who you get to be.
Yeah.
Right. Your emphasis, the way you put an emphasis on that, who you get to be, what you get to do. Yeah. And it leads into that that gratification, right? This is not by chance, right? God has given me this responsibility. He's given me this lane, right? This is my lane, right? And just stuff like that to me, and I stress that because it's always, how should I put it, a little reverse psychology goes a long way. It can help. And I do a lot of things like that internally to self-motivate, right? To inspire myself to do more, because I know there are just a litany of people who need it, who may not even know they need it.
Chris, I'll say this, man. As men, it's okay to watch another man so you can grow. Listen, I want to make sure everybody gets this right.
Yes.
I watched my late father-in-law. He didn't say much. He just did it. My mom always say, be observant of your surroundings, be observant of people. And so I understood that as I got older, I would watch certain men, how they move, man. How, you know what I'm saying, you married for almost 50 years, 60 years. And then you sit up here, man, every time you get a chance, you get a chance, you go to work, 2 and 3 jobs. But you ain't crying about the money. You just making sure you sacrificing for your family.
That's right.
I watch certain men, older men, how they move, man. And then I look at the joy in their kids and I look at the joy in their wives. And I'm sitting up here like, man, this is all it does. All you have to do, right? It's just sacrifice, right? You watch the right kind of people, all right, in the right kind of circle, and you look at their character, man. You're like, this is what being a man is all about. And this is how you actually, you know, decrease the drama in your family, is by just being this and doing that. Man, that really matters, man. And one of my quotes, I said, surround yourself with people that's going to grow you and not just know you. But better yet, that's what makes life good, when you surround yourself with the right people. And you watch them, man. They move. I'm telling you, man, these old cats move differently, man. And you see, and I'm sitting up here like, man, how many years you got? Yeah, well, 45 years. You know, I'm going on 45 years. You know, me and the wife, right? And I'm like, you do it. He said, man, I just be a man and do right. Right. And so she don't say nothing to me because she know the bills paid. She don't say nothing because we got a roof over our head. She don't
Right,
say,
right.
she gotta worry about it. The bank account is good, the kids taken care of, right? And she look at it like, I'm looking at it like, man, that's all it takes. You have to be disciplined as a man to watch another man.
Discipline. Ooh,
And
boy.
you gotta be disciplined to watch him now, because I'm telling you now, the right kind of man gonna show you the way.
That's right. And the piece of the good
Mm-hmm.
with that like that t-shirt. We need to see that t-shirt a
Life
little bit.
is
Will.
good.
I love that. I love it.
Yes, life is good. And that is true. That's why the T is on the end. Good. Hey, breath in your body. True. Huh? Roof over your head. True. Huh? Hey, money in your bank account. True. Right? All right. Life is good. Yes, sir, brother. No matter what, life is good. You get a chance to fix
Life
what
is
you
good.
messed up yesterday, man.
Say that again.
You get a chance to fix what you messed up yesterday. Life is
I,
good.
I hope people internalize that and just let that marinate and resonate.
A real man actually, looks at his mistakes, and if he get a chance to fix it, then he work on fixing it. And no matter what anybody else says, as long as you've done your part, at the end of the day, when you lay your head down and you get a chance to get back up again, you working on another issue that you're gonna fix, right? But hey, at least I worked on that one. I did the best I could with that one. So now I'm gonna move on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A man point of view to another man is that, make sure you see that brother. Don't see through him. See that brother.
Correct.
See his drama, see his issues, see whatever he's going through, and be willing, man, and to listen to him, and then be honest about his mistake. Don't be judgmental. Just share, man. Hey, listen, dude, you ain't the only one. I got a friend, man. When I was living in, down in Lawrence County, he told me, he said, man, he says, man, them kids. He said, man, your kids ain't the only one. I said, man, the wife. He said, you ain't the only one got a wife. And I started to let that thing resonate. You know what? Somebody else out there going through something like, I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And so let me and you get on this platform and share that, what, hey, brothers, y'all are not the only ones.
You're not. Trust me, you're not.
Man
no matter what it is.
Man up, stand up.
Man up, stand up. I love it. That Will. Again, I am glad I had you on this segment. Men views, I had already identified just a handful of guys in particular, just to kind of kick things off, right? Because I'm still working through some subtopics and some other material. But I had a couple guys in mind, and I'm glad I tapped the ones who have been on thus far. Yourself, Chris and Jeff.
Yeah.
There's a few others that are coming. But I knew you guys were going to help set that stage, right? And the bar, set the bar, right? Because this is no kidding type of stuff.
True.
And some of the other things, some workouts that I have in store, upcoming, are going to give people, but some brothers in particular, the real meat that you touched on earlier.
True.
The real meat for true sustainable growth in a multitude of areas of their lives.
Chris, I'm gonna say this much. Men, get out your way. Get out of your own way. Mm-hmm. Let God's will be done in your life. Get out of your own way. You know what? People they scream circumstances, they scream about issues, they scream about problems. I'm just gonna be honest, and I hope I don't step on no toes, and I don't want to offend anyone. But your circumstances, your issues, your problems, they are no more than trials and tribulations that the Lord said we're gonna have on this journey. It's called life, people. It's how you mentally deal with it. You can destroy your own health when you don't realize that your trials and tribulations are actually what have been the foundation of the word. And that's what you're going to experience. It's called life. So we have to man up, woman up, be bigger people about it and say, you know what? I have to face it. And how I control what I can control, I do that. And what I need to pass on and not carry, I know who what the heavy load bearer is. I need to give it to him. whoever you may serve. But
Yes,
it's
sir.
life, y'all. Your circumstances, your issues, don't make it about nobody else. It's your life. It's life.
Right.
You can have this on this journey. So, man, hey, every man out there, listen, no matter what comes your way, face it, because it's life.
Thanks for emphasizing that, Will. I mean, it is. And, you know, a lot of folks have that victim mentality and woe is me. But,
Time out.
okay.
It's time out for that. Own it. Own your life. Control what you
Yes.
can control and give the rest to him. That's
And
it.
give the rest to him.
Stop making
Yes.
excuses, putting that blame, trying to be the, you know, like you said, the victim. No, it's life, y'all. And when you realize that, I'm telling you, man, this is when you can release all of that. It becomes peaceful up here. That's what's healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Chris, I'm telling you, it's not a bad Grinch. It was like, it felt so good just to even just say that, because I hope somebody, you know, just realize, you mean to tell me all I have to do is release that, and that's going to give me peace? But you got to do it every day, because that's life.
Every day.
Every day.
That's very key. You have to do it every day. That's life. Things are gonna happen. You know,
Yeah.
we all know that. You don't have to be in your 50s to know that. Life be life, as folks say, right?
That's it.
Well, this has been good, brother.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to having some more of these, of course. And I envision having a panel, a small panel of guys. I've envisioned having a panel of men and women.
Yeah.
To create some crosstalk real time about some real societal issues, matters. And yeah, it's not the doom. We're not the doom and gloom police or anything like that. No, it's positivity.
True
right?
that.
We're helping to get people to a better place. That's why I like saying, you know, it's this whole platform, what I do with other of my resources, men and women such as yourself, is helping people to write a better story, a better life for them.
Yes.
Right? When your life, when people look back, or even now, you give people their flowers now, right? What is your life saying right now? What would someone write about your life right now? What would you write about your life right now?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to write something differently, guess what? You're going to have to learn to do something different. Period.
True.
Same in and same out. So sometimes you got to pivot, and oftentimes you need assistance to identify what those pivot points are. Hence, the mentors and everyone that you mentioned earlier, using your example, to help you navigate through that, right? So I just enjoy when you guys come on and share this type of information. And I'm going to keep doing it, turn the volume up. Will, I know you are doing a lot under the auspices of Mr. Positivity. And I want to help, just highlight and spotlight as many people as I can, because so many people are doing some great things out there.
You're doing a great work, Chris. And I'm going to say this from my man to man. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you.
Love you too, man.
And I'm serious. I'm proud of you. The man that you've become. God has allowed you to become the father, the husband, the community leader, the leader, and your platform. It moves. It's moving in the right direction with purpose. And so all I can say is that's part of his plan. And if you stay out of his way, watch and see what he'll do for you.
Oh, hey, look, I receive all of that, brother. I appreciate that big time. That means a lot. And the same, I'm not going tit for tat. Will, you out there doing your thing, and positive vibes, right? That's your. I see your social media. I like, I love, I share, I comment. It's people, as we said the last time. More people need to step into and walk in what their true purpose is, or what they are. And if you need, again, assistance to help bring certain things to fruition, there are resources out here, people, things, systems, etc., to help you bring those things along. So again, Will, thanks for those words. It's very encouraging, motivational for me, inspiring at the same time. And I just love having you on here, brother. And we're gonna continue to do the work that God has set us up to do.
Man, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to listen to you, observe you, and then be a part of something like this. A men's view, perspective, it does matter. And thank you for giving us the platform.
Hey, you're welcome, brother. And we're gonna keep this thing going, man.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Hey, thank you guys again for tuning in and for sharing, leaving your comments and the likes and subscribing to the channel. In fact, continue to do so. A lot is coming forth. A lot. We're working on a lot behind the scenes, and we're going to roll it out in God's timing. And I think the bulk of you are going to really enjoy it. And as always, you guys send me recommendations and suggestions and stuff like that about certain things that you would like us to talk about, that you would like to come on here and discuss. So continue to interact and share that type of information. I'm looking forward to doling it out. So again, thank you guys. Again, leave a comment, share. And again, I got to mention it, subscribe to the channel and let people know what we're doing. The Life Writing Podcast is another way we creatively inform and inspire, helping people write the lives they desire. Until the next time, take care.